Hey, welcome to Math 105. My name is Gary Parker. I am your math coach this quarter. Did it record that? I don't know. Let's try again. Hey, I'm Gary Parker, and I am your math coach for Math 105 this quarter. I am going to show you a few things about the course. So I'm going to share my desktop with you so you can see it. Maybe. There we go. So the course happens in My Open Math. Sometimes you might have had a course at BMCC using eCollege or eCompanion. eCollege and eCompanion are going away. They are old and outdated, kind of suck. My Open Math is pretty cool. It sucks a lot less. So I'm going to log out for a moment. Oops, wrong button. There it is. So if you haven't been to My Open Math before, then you will register as a new student. When you do that, you're going to enter a username for yourself and a password. You'll also enter a course ID. I'll give you that in a moment. You should have gotten that in an email I sent you last week. Once you do that, you can come back. It'll prompt you to come back to the login screen here. You can enter your username and your password and log in. If you entered the course ID correctly, then you will see one class here. If you're new, if you've been in My Open Math before, you'll have any other classes you've had before. Course ID for this class is 8542. Hopefully you're already in. So this is what it looks like for me as an instructor. The student view is pretty similar. You have a few less menu items on the edge. So I sent, again, a note out to all of you last week, hoping you get logged in to check this out. A little welcome message here and a reminder notification that first week's assignments are due in part by the 31st and then the rest by Saturday, April 2nd. Each week's assignments will be due by that week's Saturday. And then Sunday, your job is to get started on the next week's material. Important things up here, calendar. Calendar shows the due dates. I've got the first few weeks ready to go. I'll have the rest up and ready shortly. Gradebook. Gradebook is where you're going to go to see what you've done and what you haven't done. I'm not a real student, so it's not giving me anything there. Forums. Autobiography is one of your first assignments, so you'll post something here. If you have general questions, you can ask here. If you found an error in the textbook or one of the problems, you can let me know about it in the typos forum. Otherwise, each week has a forum that you can write questions in. And the hope is that your fellow students will try to answer your question first. If nobody volunteers to answer your question, then I will answer the question. If you answer a classmate's question well, then I will give you extra credit to go towards your final grade. So I highly recommend checking out the forums each day. When you log into the course, it will notify you if there's posts related to any courses you've taken back on the home page. You get a list of new posts and messages. So back to 105 here. You'll need to go into the do this first right away if you haven't, and eventually you'll take the syllabus quiz. You can read a little about the course there. Going back, and again, the link here takes you back through any sequence of clicks you've been through. Course information is where you'll find the syllabus, information about the textbook. I decided not to have a print book because there's a free ebook for this class. There is a printable version of the free ebook, but I'm doing the chapters out of order, and I added some extra stuff that's not in the ebook. So the way you'll get the book is each week's material, first link at the top. Information about me, the forum to ask me questions, and the typos forum are here. Back. So each week is going to look pretty similar. There'll be a link to the top with the chapter that we're reading for the week. We're going to do one chapter per week. Learning outcomes, which kind of summarizes the main ideas we're getting out of the book chapter, is there. Sometimes I'll post something extra up here at the top for you to take a look at. If it's to be turned in, it'll say submit it here. If it's not to be turned in, it'll just be, hey, check this out. It's kind of cool. And I'll take a look at that in a minute with you. Otherwise, each week you'll have a few different assignments. One, there's always a forum, again, where you can post questions about anything in the book or the homework. Homework is in 3 parts. Practice exercises, which you can do infinitely many times until you get it 100% on the homework. If you don't wish to get 100%, that's fine too. But you can redo every problem until you get 100%. Quizzes you get 1 shot at, and it's time limit. So don't take the quiz until you've done the problems and the written assignments and you feel comfortable with the material. The quizzes are open book and open friend, but you shouldn't have a friend do them for you. That would be cheating and very bad, and that would make me sad. Here we have written assignments. There'll be a written assignment each week. Sometimes it'll be in part, sometimes it'll be in whole. Sometimes the written assignment is you checking out a problem. Sometimes there's an automatically graded number you'll plug in. Usually it's you'll write me a few sentences or a few paragraphs about something that we're studying. Anything that is a paragraph kind of entry waits for me to grade. So if you submit this, it'll immediately give you a 0 on this part of the problem until I grade it. So don't freak out. That's going to happen for every time there's a written part of a problem. It's not graded automatically. And there's notes that say that to remind you. If you read the syllabus, you'll see it. That's a reminder I give you there also. Other weeks, instead of a homework kind of thing where you answer a question alone, there's a forum that you go into. And once you post to the forum, you can see other people's posts. Until you post to the forum, you can't see other people's posts. And then you can answer the questions and then look at other people's posts and then decide if you want to adjust yours in any way. And if you want to make any adjustments, they have to be done before the due date. And due dates are always listed by each assignment that has something due. Late pass allowed. Now, since I'm not a real student, this isn't highlighted right there, but for you, it will be. A late pass is something you can apply if you're not going to make the given due date. So if you think you're not going to get it done in time, either the day of or a week before, give yourself a late pass. You have 20 late passes to use. You have 30-ish assignments. So you don't have enough late passes for all assignments, but you have a ton. You can't do everything late in this course and pass. You have to do weekly work. Again, the late pass has to be applied by you before the assignment is due. That gives you an extra 48 hours to get it done. So no matter when you apply that late pass before the due date, it will shift. If it was on this particular problem, it would shift the due date from 4/16 to 4/18. If you forget to do an assignment and you forget to do a late pass, you can ask me to assign a late pass for you. If I assign a late pass, it is worth half. So you assign a late pass, it's worth 48 hours. If I assign a late pass, it's only worth 24 hours. So do it yourself, and you have to be proactive. You couldn't do something like, say, miss a couple of assignments and 2 weeks later try to apply a late pass, because you won't have enough late passes to cover it. Late pass gives you 48 hours after the given due date. All right, let's do a little math. So again, every week, 3 assignments. You got to read the book, got to do your practice problems, you've got a written problem, and you have a quiz for each one. There will be a midterm about halfway through and a final exam. Otherwise, it's exercises, quiz, written problems every week, same drill. So part of the problem-solving chapter is reviewing working with percents, and we're going to see lots of percents because there's a national election going on. And I was curious about that the other day. So there's a link right here that shows current delegate counts. Now I put March 28th on there because that's the day I viewed it, but they update this page regularly. So the numbers will look different after each primary election. So here's where we are currently for Democrats and Republicans. So I'm going to play with the Democrat data because there's less of them. Even though we've lost a lot of Republicans, there's still fewer to work with here on the Democrats. So let's see. We have Hillary Clinton with 1,000. Let's blow this up so it's easier to see. Oops, wrong way. That's nice. Okay, so we have Hillary Clinton with 1,712 delegates to date. Bernie Sanders with 1,004 delegates. Uncommitted delegates are 160, and O'Malley has none. There are 2,383 delegates needed for a nomination, and remaining there are 2,049. So what I'd like to see is what percent of current delegates Hillary Clinton has, Bernie Sanders has, and are uncommitted. And so what I want to do is in a spreadsheet, I want to make a table like this right here. Often, you can copy and paste tables from one kind of program, a web browser, Control-C to copy, to something like a spreadsheet. Now, I prefer Google Sheets. If you have Excel and you like Excel, that's cool too. I like Google Sheets because it is always available online for me, and I don't have to worry about where I save the file. So I'm going to make a new Google Sheet, and I'm going to try to paste that table from the web browser into the spreadsheet. Now, pasting from one kind of program to another can go bad. This time it worked okay. And so then what I want to do is I want to type the information I read back here, that Hillary Clinton has 1,712. Where are you? There you are. 1,712. Bernie Sanders had 1,004. There were 160 uncommitted, I'm pretty sure, and there were 0 for O'Malley. Let's blow this up a little bit so you can see better. Always a good idea to name the file. So a good name here might be Democrat Delegate Count. You can have multiple sheets in any spreadsheet program, whether it's Google Sheets, Microsoft Excel, or OpenOffice. What's the OpenOffice one called again? Forgot. Anyway. So if you have multiple sheets, you can call them Sheet 1 or Sheet 2, or you can rename them something else. Like maybe I'll type March 29 as the name of that one. Now, one thing I'd like to do is add these up. And so let's bring this back down. In most spreadsheet programs, you'll have a little button over here that does, it's called functions or auto sum. In Excel, it's called auto sum. And I click that, and then sum, and it says, what do you want to add up? So I click inside the parentheses, and I say, I want to add up these guys. I just highlight them with my mouse, and it says, oh, you highlighted B2 through B5. And I hit enter to say yes. And it tells me the total. So then I can use that total to get the percent Hillary Clinton has of the total. That's just a simple division. In a spreadsheet, we type equals, and then we could type 1712, but that's kind of stupid because the number is already on the screen. I just point and click. The point and click thing only works if you type equals first. Then I want to divide, and then I can click on the total, and I can hit enter. Now, I'm going to do the same calculation here, essentially. I'm going to hit equals. I'm going to click on Sanders. I'm going to hit divide. I'm going to click on the total, and I'm going to hit enter. Now, it's giving these as a decimal. I can tell the computer by highlighting them and hitting that percent format button up there to say, hey, give me these as a percent. Do I really need hundredths of a percent? Nah, probably not. Tenth of a percent? I like that. It's up to you how many decimals you want to show so it rounds for me. You can often, if the formula is similar, copy and paste it. Now the problem with copy and paste, I'll show you, copy and paste, is it's giving me an error here, divided by 0. Why did it do that? Well, when I took the original formula, it says take the cell to the left here and divide by the total, and copied it down, it still said, hey, take the cell to the left. But it's doing a relative position, meaning the original formula said take the cell to the left and divide by the cell that is left 1 and then 1, 2, 3 down. And so when it recreated the formula below, it was still thinking the cell to the left divided by the cell that is left 1 and 3 down. So that's called relative cell referencing in a spreadsheet. And we'll do spreadsheets throughout the term, so I'll keep reviewing this idea. If I'm making a formula and I don't want one thing to change, meaning its position is always fixed, then I create the formula a little bit different. So I'm going to go back to, say, my top one. Although I want, as I copy this formula down, the delegate count to change each time, because I'm switching the person I'm looking at or thing, the total is always located in the same spot. When you copy things up and down, the computer wants to change the row number because row numbers are up and down. So what I have to do is in my original formula, I put a $ in front of the 6 saying, don't mess with that 6, leave it alone. So now, if I were to take that formula and copy it, and then paste it down here, it will behave correctly. An alternative to copy and paste is to use the magic autofill button. So if you click on a formula you made, and then point to the bottom right corner, your cursor changes to a thin black plus. Same thing in Excel. Click there and drag down. That gives an automatic copy and paste too. If I do a sum on those, I should see they should add up to 100%. And they do. So now I feel good about it. So I'm going to use the spreadsheets a lot in this course. So wherever possible, I'm going to insert, let's use a spreadsheet, and I'll give you a little tutorial about it. So there's one quick example. So that's about it for now. I don't want this video to be too long. You need to do math every day in this class. You have assignments that are due every week. Assignments are due on Saturday unless you apply a late pass. You always start reading the new chapter on Sunday. That's the way it goes. Contact me if you need help, either through messages or phone or email, whatever you like. Take care and stay in touch and do good math. I'll catch you soon.